Hello students, a very good morning to all of you. This is Arvind, Assistant Professor Tripoli, DBSIT Kavali. So in the previous session I discussed about data handling functions. It includes skip function, MCR function and the difference between skip and MCR functions and a basic jump function. So here in this class I will discuss about one more type of jump function, that is jump with return. Jump with return function. So actually jump function is used to jump the specified number of lines from the given program. So here I am taking jump with return function. So for this one I am taking that actually jump with return consists of a repetitive subprocess. So that means the subroutine, that means here the subroutine is a group of instructions. Here the subroutine is a group of instructions in a written separately from the main program. So written separately from the main program. So because to perform an operation on a given program. So the subroutine is a group of instructions written separately from the main program to perform a function that occurs repeatedly in the main program. That means the subroutine code is is outside of the main program. So here in this one I am taking one example or one application to explain this jump with return function. So here I am taking. So let us consider this as a main program. So this is the jump with return function. So here I am taking one main program. So here the subroutine area is outside from the main program. So here we are using two instructions, that is call operation and return operation in JSF functions. So that is jump with subroutine code. So here the subroutine code is identified by the label condition. So here I am taking that if the LBL is found, that means label is found, that is a subroutine area. When the program is encountered a return function, that means it will return to the main program. Once the subroutine is completed, so it will comes to main program, immediately it will comes to the main program. So here I am taking one example to explain that one. So here I am taking some run program lines. if this line is true means that is, if the take this one is 121 line, that means if it is on means it will jump to label function which is occurred in the, this is a subroutine area. So this one is subroutine area. So here in this one label is found. That means when the JSR function is true, so that is jump to label function. That is in the 107, and here 21, 22 and 23 lines are part of the main program, and 107 through 110 lines belongs to subroutine area. So when, if the 121 line is off, if 121 is off means the process is continuous till the last line. So here when the return function is found in main program, so it will return to the main program line, that is this JSR line. Sorry, next proceeding to the next line of the JSR line, that is this one. So this is the one example to explain the jump with return function. So here I am writing one return operation and call operation. So here the label and JSR function contains same address values, that is 0 to 02. So this is a jump with return function. And coming to next topic, that is data moving function. Next topic is data moving functions. So before going to data moving functions, so here in all computer systems including PLCs, the internal it consists of the internal ability to move the data, numbers and bit values from one place to another place. So in small PLCs, let us take small PLCs. In small PLCs, the data movement takes place internally automatically. But in these small PLCs, the operation does not control. So in large PLCs and medium size PLCs, in medium and large size PLCs, so the controlling of the data movement is controlled by using some programming functions. So by using these programming functions, we can control the operation or data movement of the program. So here we have three types of data moving functions. In those one, first one is basic move function. Basic move function. And secondly we have block move function. Block move function. And lastly we have this third type contains two subtypes. Those are table to register and register to table data moving functions. These are the three types of data moving functions available in PLC. Basic move function, block move function, and two subtypes, that is table to register to table. So coming to first one, that is basic move function. So by using basic move function, the basic move function takes a word, comma, bit or group of byte, word, byte or group of bits from one place. So basic move function takes a word, byte or group of bits from one place and move these data into another place. That is the basic move function. So actually in some PLC systems we use get or put functions instead of move. In some PLC systems we have get or move functions instead of move function, but in this case we are using only move function. So that is the basic move function. And coming to block move function, so this block move function is useful to move the data from the consecutive group of registers to next consecutive group of registers. So this one is a block move function. In some PLC systems this is known as file to file function or table to table function. And we have another two types of this one, table to register type. So in this table to register type, the movement of data is occurred. In this one, the data is sequentially transferred to the consecutive register to the single register. That means here I am transferring data from consecutive type of register to one single register. So that is table to register type, and coming to register to table type. In this one, single register transfers data to a consecutive type of registers. So these are the two subtypes. So if we look at the detailed functioning of basic move function, we have block format and coil format for basic move function. That is, so here I am taking block format and coil format for basic move function. So here I am taking one enable line, put it as input 001, and one functional block. So it consists of source register value, write this as IR001, and destination register value, destination register, that is OR002. Here I am having one functional coil, that is, here we are using move function, means that is we have MV001. So this is the block format for basic move function. Block format for basic move function. So here the functional block is enabled through the enable circuit. That means the functional block is turned on through enable circuit. In this one, the source register, so the bit patterns from the source register is duplicated into the destination register. So that means the source register values does not change. Then the destination register value changes because the source register value replaces the destination register value. That means here we have the old value is removed from this destination register and replaced with the source register value. And after that, we have this function. So if it is turned on, means once the move function is completed, this coil is turned on, because when the source register value is replaced with the destination register value, that means this coil function is turned on. So this is the block format for basic move function. And coming to coil format for basic move function, so we have another diagram, that is, here I am taking one coil. Here I am taking so this is the coil format. This is the coil format for basic move function. So here, if the coil 121 is on, means so the data in the 078 location is duplicated into the 026 location. That means effectively transferred from this location to this location. That is, here we have 06 value, and this data is moved into this condition. So this is the coil format. Actually, the coil format used for the basic move function is to interlock the move function. That is, whenever we have the one or more move functions, we have to use coil format for the basic move function. So because this coil format is useful to energize it does not energize the two or more coils of the basic move function. That means if you have two move functions, means if in those two functions we have only one desired function, means we have to eliminate one move function. So that is why we are taking the basic move function. And here we have one application to explain this basic move function. That is, here I am taking two timers. That is, one is 7 seconds and another one is 15 seconds. So by using these two, any of these two times, we have to introduce these two times into the PLC timer. So by closing the input switches, that is, here I am taking So this is for 7 seconds and this is for 15 seconds. Here I am representing this 2 in binary form. Here I am locating these values into one holding register, that is HR0052, and here I am using one more register, that is HR0053. Here we are using one preset value either of 7 seconds or 15 seconds. Here we are introducing this time into this one. So here I am taking one more register, that is HR101. So if we take the ladder diagram for this application, here we have this one represents interlocks. So here I am taking source register and destination register. Here we have one move function coil, that is so here this is for 7 seconds and this is for 15 seconds. So this is used for timing functions. So here by enabling this one, that is here I am putting the preset value, that is either 7 or 15 seconds, and I am taking one destination register to store that value. So here by enabling either this switch or this switch, we are applying this value to this one. So if you use 7 seconds, we have to turn on this one. If you use 15 seconds, we have to turn on this one. So this is the basic move function application for the condition. Okay, thank you.
Please subscribe.
Okay, thank you. If you want to see this video, please subscribe to DBase Talks.